everyone, welcome to April's video. I am so excited to bring you this video. I'm sorry it's a little late. It's usually out by before now, but I've had a really busy week with March break, and then I was lucky enough to go to a Pink concert, so it's just thrown everything off, but it's been good. But I'm sorry this is a little bit later than normal. What I first am so excited to show you is I've got a cover from Kate's Designs, and I'll just show you. She makes these beautiful little card holders as well. So Creative Kate Designs, I don't know if it'll focus in on that. She makes these covers that I'm going to show you, and it's very exciting. So I'm hoping that you're just as excited as I am. So, and it holds all four journals. So this is the inside. She has a little pocket in there and a big pocket, and then it can hold your first journal. And then I have March in here, as you will see. I have March, April, and May all in here, and at the end she has another pocket and one at the end, and then this is the back with the clasp. So it's very exciting. There are these elastics in them, so I have this one isn't in, so I could show you. This is the elastic that she has that you put through. So what you do is you take the center of your journal and you put it through the elastic, and it sits in the middle so that it holds all four journals in. And she will make it with whatever material that you like. The cost depends on if you pick material. She also has cork and pleather options, so you can look at that, and she'll work out with you your different colors, so it's all very exciting. So this is the April video, so we'll flip to April. April's cover was really fun to draw. It's really pretty. I love looking at it. I hope that you enjoy coloring it and that you love it as much as I do. So this is April. Again, just a plain title page that you can doodle and add as you like. So our surprise page, yay, comes from Izzy Spencer from the Lunar Abundance. She has just written a book that's just being released, and she's on a book tour in the US right now. She's from Australia, but it's really exciting. And the way this works is that you set an intention with your new moon, and that's here. And then it says, so I set my intention and I feel my intention in my body, and that's here where you would actively set your intention. So what I'm doing is, this is kind of an education side, and then this is the side that you would actually work in. So in these little boxes, you would write the date of when these moons happen during the month that you're doing. So I've brought, this is a copy of Izzy Spencer's. I actually haven't finished this spread. But gonna link below her website so that you can get this. She has a PDF of it. And so we are in April. So the new moon for April will be the 15th. So you would write the 15th of April, 2008 here. And then it goes through and it tells you all when the different moons are. And this will phase into April and May, because we don't get our new moon to the 15th of May. So it will be half of April and half of May. So you'll be able to find all that information in the link that I have below. And basically, on your new moon day, you would set your intention, and you would, you can do it as simple as just visualizing what you want to happen, or you can do a whole ritual around setting intentions in new moons. And then it goes through all the full information here, like I relax into my intention and I breathe, and I've kind of shortened it here for relax and breathe, discerning action. But you go through and you will see all the different ways that the moon can affect you, and you'll notice that there's an active thing that you do with your intention, and then there's a passive, which is the yin, and then you'll have another active and then another passive. So I didn't actually set one out in here. Here's mine. So this is what, this is March and April's for myself right now. So you will see that I've put the dates in along the edge, and then I write in what my intention is. And then the relax and breathe, I don't usually write in something in here, but if you find that during that day or that cycle, that part of the cycle, that you have something that you were doing passively, to help your intention move forward, you could write it in there. So then when I do my discerning action around the 24th, I will hopefully be actively moving forwards. But sometimes as the universe would have it, is that I didn't realize it was a discerning action day, and then I come and look and I'm like, oh, I can't believe this happened on that day that I was supposed to be discerning action. So it's amazing how the universe does that, taking care of us. So that's how that spread works. So this is your surprise spread. I hope you really enjoy the intention setting for April and May. And then we go into the regular pages where you have your memories, where you can do doodles or words, and then your little box of what you're doing this month. Our goals for the month, so writing in your goals, or it can be even your intention and what you're actively going to try and do. Or I do like a plan of a project sometimes in here, and then breaking them up into steps every week so that you're actually moving forward and you're taking a big thing, making it into small achievable steps, which means then things get happen. And then there's space over here for fun quotes or doodling or notes, depending on what you need. Then this is your April calendar. It's very simple, very standard, easy to use. And then you have your notes over at the side. And then your habit tracker. So for your habit tracker, you write what habits you want to work on. And this can be, I've had some questions about different habits. And honestly, I think it's anything that you want to change about yourself or your life, your environment, or something that you kind of want to know more about within those areas, anywhere in your life or your environment. You would write those down here, and I do all kinds of stuff. I do things like, do I get up in the morning and do my miracle morning? That's an actual physical thing. There's lots of things like exercise, yoga. Do you drink so many glasses of water? Lots of people track tons of different things. But then I also track, do I read with the kids before bed? Did one of my children have a hard day? Did they pick a fight? Often. I write different things like that I'm trying to see how often does this happen, because I feel like it's all the time, but when you actually track it, sometimes you realize it's not as often as you feel. And then I down here track things about my personality that I really want to come out. So things like compassion. Am I calm? Am I content? Do I have joy in the day? Do I play? Because I am a big person that does a lot of adulting. And do I break away from that adulting and actually enjoy and play? Am I present in the moment? So I do character building things down here. And then there's a sleep tracker where you just track how much you sleep. And then a place for quotes, a place for more doodles. It's up to you. In my habit tracker, do Zentangles, and I'm hoping to do a video on the Zentangles that I do that are very simple, that make the habit tracker really pretty. You don't have to do that. And for some of the habits, you might find that you want to put a number. Someone was asking me about, I want to know how many times I drink water in a day. So some people do like little separate water tracker and do little dots for 4 glasses, and then they would color them in, but you might just put a 4, or you might put like a tally tick, or I want to know how many times I did something. So instead of just having a cross in the box or a Zentangle, you might actually put a number. So there's lots of ways to use a habit tracker. And so use it for the way that it will most affect your life. And then after the habit tracker is a gratitude log. So 2 points a day where you would write out something that you're thankful for. And then this month's mood tracker is April showers, and you can probably suspect that May is probably going to have some flowers in it. So I hope you enjoy. This has a bit of Zentangle in it, so you can just color the patterns. They're all different patterns that I've chosen. And in this space, I haven't given you a lot of space, sorry about that, depending on how many moods. I know my moods wouldn't fit in there, but I got carried away with my raindrops and excitingly Zentangling. But you would put the colors that you would want to do for your different moods. So I hope you enjoy that one. And then we have our financial report. Again, just a basic glimpse, and it's not too in depth, but it has different areas to thinking and trying to figure out our cash flow versus our net worth, and hopefully watching this increase every month. And then you have a blank page for if there's any spreads that you would like to add before the month stuff kind of starts to happen. So here we have our first weekly. And so in the first weekly, you would write the days of the week here, and then you would write up here, you have 2 spaces, and you can break it up however you want. Some people would do it for maybe home and work. Some might do it for myself versus family. Some might do morning, afternoon. I do appointments, which is something that has a time, versus something that doesn't have appointment but needs to happen that day. But it's totally up to what works for your day. There's no right or wrong with bullet journaling, so it's what works for you. And this is just a framework. And then over here is just maybe all the things that you want to kind of get to in the week, which may not have a time, but you don't want to forget them. And then there's a waiting on list and a horizon list. So waiting on is anything that you might have ordered, or you ask someone to do something and you're waiting for them to get back to you, you would put it there. And anything in the horizon is like stuff that you kind of want to think about, but it's quite far ahead. A good example that I have in here for quite a long time was our year end for our different businesses. I would be like year end coming up and the date, knowing that I just wanted to keep that in my mind, but I didn't have to actively really do anything. But come the month before, it came out of the horizon and came up here. So it was just kind of something just like, it's there and you don't want to keep it in your head and have to remember it, but it's visual and you're like, yep, I know that that's coming, but I don't have to do anything quite yet. Then we move into our weeklies. Or our dailies, I'm sorry. And so dailies are where you would put what you want to do every single day. So part of bullet journaling is that there's a repetitiveness in that you write things more than once, and that is the intention, so that you're actually choosing what you want to do in your day. So how I would start this Monday of the first week, I would find my calendar and I'd say, so Monday is the 2nd. So I'd put under here, I'd put the 2nd of April, 2018. And this is for weather, if you would choose to do weather, and you might do an icon, or some people have used this for the date. It's totally up to you. And then I would look and see what I have on the 2nd. But I'd also, actually, to be honest, when I did this weekly layout, I would put everything that was on here, plus what I wanted to do. And then when it came to the morning of the Monday, I would sit down and I'd be like, okay, it's the 2nd. Let's see what I have on here that I have to do. I would add my things that were here, and then I would probably look and see what I wanted or needed to do or could do on here, depending on what my day was looking like. And then I would add those few things. And the way that you add them, that's an example of my weekly. I have 3s because I needed a must do for a while, but that's how I do mine. So the way you put it in, if it's an event with a time, you would put it with a circle. If it's something that just is a task, you do it as a dot, and you won't be able to see any of my dots because they've all been changed. But you start your task with a dot, and then when you complete it, you put an X through it. If for some reason you were unable to do it that day and you still felt that it was important, you would migrate it forward. And to migrate it forward, you put an arrow to the right. So groceries on here, it ended up being a snow day, so we didn't go back to school, which is if it doesn't happen or is no longer relevant, you cross through it. So we didn't go back to school that day, so then groceries went on down here. So I migrated it forward. There's a few other things that I migrated forward. If for some reason, I don't know if I have an example, I don't, if you no longer, if you didn't accomplish it, but you felt like it was still important, but you had to reschedule it versus migrating it, you would put an arrow going to the left saying that I have rescheduled it. And if you couldn't get it into this spread, which would be more of a migration, you would end up having to go back to your, you'd end up putting it back into here saying reschedule, blah, blah, blah. So say that first Monday I had a dentist appointment for some reason and it was a snow day, so it was canceled, but I wasn't going to end up being able to do it Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. It would have to be a reschedule. So I put an arrow to the left, and then I would go back here and I'd write reschedule dentist appointment, because I would have to call and set it up for time in the future, if that makes sense, okay? The time bar, the top, is what you either want your day to look like, or how you, what you did during the day. So you would color code it. to what you're doing certain things. So we'll go back to my book and I'll show you. The gray is when I sleep. The light green is personal time, so something that I might have done for myself. So that's my miracle morning. Not really sure what I did from 8:30 to 10, but I did something. And then the purple for me is work or family related. It has to do with just making sure that life moves forward. And then this pink color is my yoga, and that's more of my appointments time. Not personal development, that would have been that. This is more exercise or appointments. So that's how that goes. This is a meeting. It's a little bit different color than that. So it's a school meeting, and that my husband and I both go to it. So that's why it's that color. So that's how you would work a time bar. I do mine as a bit of both. I get up in the morning and I'll say where I slept to, and then I generally do my miracle morning time because it's usually the same. And then if I know I have an appointment, I'll put the appointment in, but then I will leave everything blank and then come back that night or the next morning and say, okay, well, the rest of the day I did this and I did this and I did this. So that's how I use mine. You do not have to use it. You can use it any way that works for your life. Again, there's no wrong way to do bullet journaling. It's what works for your life. At the end of every week, I have a week review. So evaluating like what is working, what isn't working, and what needs to change, and allowing that to kind of seep in and taking a moment to reflect on what you're doing. And then, so you have 5 weeks in here. And then at the end, you'll have two blank spreads. So you can add any more spreads that you might think that you might be enjoying or that you would like to do that month. And then at the end of every month is a monthly review. And this is a time to celebrate your month. I feel that a lot of time we go through every week and we go through every month not celebrating all the great things that happened, and we kind of get complacent with the idea like you're just going from day to day. So this is a place to take a moment for yourself and celebrate. So accomplishments, big events, projects that you've been working on completing, or what you want to get into, what you're proud of this month. How are you different? Your goals that you worked on this month, and what you really want to work on next month. And then there's things that I want to remember that you might just want to hold on a little bit longer with and think about. And then there's a place to do a little bit of reflection. What was your personal struggles this month? Or what did you find challenging? And taking a moment to kind of sit with them and possibly reflect on change, or possibly just acknowledge that they happened, and they may not happen again, but just that they did happen and that you can move forward from them. And then the last page is just blank again, so you can put different things that you want to happen in your journals coming up, or things that are going to happen, or it can just be a page of doodles. It can be whatever you love. And then that's the end of the cover, and then that's the back of April, which was so fun to draw. So yeah, so that's April. And this beautiful cover, again, is from Creative Kate Designs, and I will link her below. And let me know if you have any questions or any comments. Follow in on below, and I will get into the conversation down there. I'm also looking at doing a new weekly, monthly hybrid spread, or weekly, daily hybrid spread, and I'm looking for some input on that. So keep an eye out for that, and that should be coming up on Instagram and Facebook. And it was great to talk to you, and we'll talk again. Thanks.